So, a few weeks ago, my cousin Dave, who's always been a little too enthusiastic about optimizing his life, decided he was going to run a marathon. Not just any marathon, though. He wanted to train for it without ever leaving the comfort of his living room. His grand plan was to use a treadmill in one of those fancy VR headsets he got on Black Friday because, in his words, why sweat outside with the peasants when you can sweat in Paris, Rome, and Tokyo all before breakfast? I thought it was a little excessive, but hey, at least he was getting off the couch. Things started off innocently enough. Dave spent hours jogging through virtual cityscapes, high-fiving digital runners, and occasionally shouting at pigeons that didn't exist. Every time I visited, there he'd be, huffing and puffing in front of the TV, looking like a cyborg on a mission. The only slightly weird thing was that he started wearing running shorts with a tie, for international marathon class, he claimed. I figured as long as he wasn't running in VR traffic, he was fine. But last Saturday, things took a turn. Dave decided to up the realism by plugging in a marathon simulation playlist, which apparently included the sounds of cheering crowds, police sirens, and, for some reason, a guy selling hot dogs at mile 13. He cranked the treadmill speed, threw on his headset, and started sprinting like he was being chased by the ghost of every PE teacher he ever disappointed. I was in the kitchen when I heard what can only be described as the sound of a gazelle meeting an IKEA bookshelf at 12 miles per hour, followed by a crash that rattled the plates. By the time I ran in, Dave was sprawled on the floor, headset askew, and the treadmill still spinning like a hamster wheel on Red Bull. As I helped him up and checked for signs of concussion, he groaned, "Well, at least I set a personal record." I nodded and said, "Yeah, Dave, fastest time from start to ER. Next time, maybe just run for the remote."